My name is Natasha, and I'm continuing my Liminal World project today with a new guest. Please welcome Gina Marrelli. Gina is my fellow citizen, so she's joining us today from Victoria, BC. Gina is a small business owner. She's a co-founder and manager of one of cafeteria here in Victoria. And recently I attended one of my beloved reading events in her cafeteria, and I reached out after that to her and asked if she can join this conversation. I wanted to talk about her business, first about her, about the story behind her small business and all of the aspects of the job she's doing. So I'm very glad that she accepted this invitation, and I want to welcome her to the Liminal World.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Can you tell us more? Who is Gina? Can you share more details about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm from Victoria originally. I grew up just outside of Victoria, and yeah, I always wanted to do work that would be helping people or helping communities. So first, when I graduated from high school, I went into kind of like human services, and then later ended up studying sociology at UVic. And then not knowing what I really wanted to do, I just started exploring options to run my own business. My dad had always talked about opening a cafe. So I just started exploring that idea from kind of like how could you make this into kind of like a social community kind of project. So I took a bit of business courses back then. And then about 3 years ago, we took over an existing business, and now we have our own shop.
Yeah.
Kind of started off.
Yeah. Your professional journey, I was digging a bit, doing my research, and your professional journey was a bit winding, but all about the community. So you actually got first diploma from Commerson College, and it was also about child and family support. And then you were working in a counseling and like a receptionist you were volunteering in many again community-oriented organizations and institutions. So finally you get to your place, but it wasn't a straight journey. You wandered around exploring actually what you want to do.
Yeah.
It was
pretty standard for young people nowadays, that there's not a lot of straight paths, and we have so many options.
Yeah, but it was brave for you to start. I wanna mention that I admire you to decide to do your own thing at a very early age.
Thank you.
When I met you first time, I was again impressed with your first and last name, Gina Marrelli. Like, it's obvious that you have Italian blood, and I actually did a research online, and I found out that there is a lot of families with that last name in Canada and Argentina, some in Belgium and Australia, but originally you are from Italy, that last name. And I always love to bring that cultural component. And, I always wonder if you are an immigrant, if your parents are immigrant. That's a story I can relate to, and I want to hear more about that mixed cultural background that you have. How that has affected you as a person, actually.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to make sense of. My parents are both Italian, but they moved here when they were kids. So their parents still kind of raised them in more a traditional way, that they were expected to get married, and like both my parents are Italian, kind of from the same area, so they were kind of just expected to get married and have a family. I wouldn't say they passed on those expectations to me, but I guess there was kind of like an emphasis on like sticking with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Italian, so Italian, so Italian. And that's also very interesting because your current business, the name is Gigi's Cafe, which actually is consisted from Gina, which is your name, and Gino, which is your father's name. So you actually ended up working with your dad or starting a family business.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting because it can, you know, we can relate that to what you just said, like sticking to the family, being in a sense maybe protected, overprotected about that nucleus you have.
Yeah, I think growing up, that was kind of a thing with my mom, because she was pretty overprotected when she was young. Like she was told to live at home until she got married. So I think she kind of passed that on to me, whether she meant to or not. Not that I live at home anymore, but yeah, but it has an influence on how you kind of view the world and how you grow up with your family.
Mm-hmm. And what is like to be in a business partnership with your dad?
It's pretty relaxed for us, 'cause he didn't come into this wanting it to be a career.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've kind of been the one kind of trying to develop the business, adding more like personal touches to it rather than just running like a standard cafe. And he kind of just lets me do whatever he wants, because what he wants to get out of it is just being able to host music events and see regular customers.
It's nice when I was checking the website, you actually have a huge role in running that business, and you are pretty much everywhere. You are baking, sometimes serving, you are managing your team, you are taking care of the websites and social media. You're now studying for like management. So you're actually accountant as well, as I understood. So you have
Just bookkeeping I've taken, not full accounting.
yeah, but there is a lot of hats you wear during
Yeah.
just one day.
Yeah, it definitely keeps me busy. I've kind of been trying to step back from working right in the shop just because I want to be able to develop the team more, make sure they're all capable, and just that allows me to develop the business more. Because whenever you bring new people in, that kind of helps you bring in new ideas. And
Is this your first cafeteria, I wonder?
not exactly. So we took over an existing business, kind of like 10-minute drive down the road in like late 2018. And we were there for about a year until the building was redeveloped. Yeah, we kind of took that over and made it our own a little bit, but it was kind of already built up. So it was a good like first step.
And then you moved to this new place, which is a Gigi's Cafe. Gigi's Cafe. And when was that? So
that was, we took over the lease in February 2020.
Oh, nice time to start a business. Nice time. We're going to talk about that. So February 2020, you're taking over the business and you're actually starting new.
Yeah.
On a new location. Probably some customers came with you, they follow you. But anyway, it's a new business, new place. And a month after that, we were in a lockdown. So how did you go through that transition?
Yeah, it was pretty stressful at first, but I think it was also just kind of a relief, because it was like we took probably less than a month to kind of set up over here, just out of a desire to get going and thinking that we were ready. But it's always hard to start a new thing in a new neighborhood. You never give yourself enough time, so it's kind of a relief when I started seeing other businesses were shutting down, I just joined with them and didn't hesitate at all. I didn't try to hang on like some places did. So we shut down for about 2 or 3 months, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the isolation actually, I think in Victoria, no, I think it started around March 14th, 15th. That was the time when, like that was the, I remember exactly because it was a spring break. And on Friday, we were told that we are not supposed to travel or we should cancel the spring break.
Yeah.
And then we were in the lockdown, complete lockdown until beginning of or mid-June, something like that. Like it was, yeah.
I think we reopened around Victoria Day, so around 2.5 months or so.
And what were you doing during those 3 months?
I was kind of catching up on some paperwork. I was doing a lot of baking at home, trying new recipes. We tried to do some takeout, like we were freezing soups and selling them by the liter, those kind of things. Yeah, I don't know if I was doing a lot just for myself. I was just trying to kind of develop the business.
So you were not in despair. You were not, I don't know, frightened, fearful. Pretty much you actually put the brake on and rethink about what was going on because the new business was just starting off. So you had maybe time to now go back and redo or rethink about some things. Yeah, nice. Is there anything in your menu today which you actually developed during that time? You said you...
I think I came up with, or like I was kind of working on our carrot pineapple walnut muffins. That might have come from that kind of time period, which we've kind of had for the last 2 years since. Yeah.
Nice. And what about your team? How many people were in your office in your store back then?
We had at that time one part-time employee and one who was full-time.
And how did you connect did you manage to connect with the customers? Did they call? Did they ask? Were they coming to your store? Do you know anything about that?
I think we're doing like a little bit of like takeout sales. I think we mostly just kept in touch with them over social media somewhat. We didn't have a lot of new customers, and a lot of them were older. I know there's one gentleman, he's probably in his 80s or 90s, who would call me. He actually sent me a news clipping saying, giving me advice for how to get support for the business. So that was really sweet.
Something interesting about the bulletin board for your store, and I would like you to bring up that story.
Yeah, well, I think we started this shortly after reopening, but our assistant manager, Amy, she came up with the idea to use some of our windows to just like kind of activate the space. We ask people like, what's something you're looking forward to? What's something you're thankful for? Or we put up funny things like tell us a good joke, and people would just write on them, and it would be facing outwards, so people walking by could see it. Yeah, it was just a way of connecting with people who couldn't, like, for some of the time, no one was really sitting inside.
Yeah, that was nice because I came to your store recently, and I found that bulletin board. You still post questions, and people are still replying and leaving a note.
Yeah,
that's like a new tradition.
Yeah.
2 months ago, I was on my way to the dance studio, and I was standing on waiting for the green light to cross the street, and I saw many posters on the front door of your cafeteria. I never enter in, but I was checking like what's going on, and I remember I almost yelled when I read writers open mic. That was one of my favorite events prior to Corona. And I wasn't in your cafeteria, obviously, because you were not there, but in some other spaces, people were also gathering writers and having those open mic nights or reading events. And I used to love them. So once I sent you a message, and that's how we connected. But in the meantime, I found out a lot of people that from Victoria, they don't know anything. They just don't know anything about this event, and they would love either to participate or just come and, cheer up some other writers. And that's the reason why I want you to right now to talk more about those events. Maybe we can inspire somebody else, not just from Vancouver Island, but anywhere in this planet. So you know more about those events, and I want to hear how everything started and what it's like to organize these type of events.
We started the event. So at our old cafe, there was a publishing company that used to host it every 2 months. And I just saw how popular it was, and I used to be a bit of a writer myself. I just haven't done it much lately. So yeah, during the pandemic, we kind of stopped doing our musical open mics just because I was kind of nervous. A lot of times when you have like live music, people get up and dance, and it was just too soon for that kind of thing. But I wanted to have something kind of interactive, so I thought to bring back the writers open mic. And I found a host through another customer, and it's just an opportunity for anyone who writes poetry or short stories or like creative nonfiction to come share their work. And it's very like low stress and low barrier. Yeah, everyone loves to hear like different types. It started off being a lot of poems, but now we get a lot of short story writers too. And it's just a fun event. You never know what people are gonna get up and read. I'm always amazed at like the things that come out of it.
Yeah, we actually see your space. We see your cafeteria behind you, so people can imagine like it's not a small stage, but there is a mic. So we have a stage. People are sitting. We don't see the tables behind you. Maybe you can show. Yes. So people are sitting and gathering around so-called small stage, and then let's say who is the host?
Her name is Tony, and she's a woman who self-published a few books. Yeah, she was a friend of a friend.
So she's usually having a list of people who sign up for this event to read. But it's interesting because sometimes people come to hear, but during the night they just decide like, let's get out, because people are anxious, especially when they have to share their themselves with others. But this is a good, because it's very laid back atmosphere, very relaxed. You think like you're in some, I don't know, maybe private place, not a public place, and you just get that courage to step up and to read your story or your poem or say anything about yourself. That's actually what I love, because similar events, you can find similar events in well-known city bookstores. But this setup is more relaxed, very casual, and people who are unpublished or self-published authors, they find their way to step up, to connect with a wider audience, or just to pass that barrier. I'm now telling you as someone who took part in that, and I was one of the readers in May, so a month ago. But I always wanted to know what is going on from the other side as an organizer. Do you have any concerns or problems to find people who will take part in this event?
I think at the beginning it was just filling up the time, because a lot of the people who wanted to read were poets, and they'd be done in less than 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of finding more of a variety and like letting people know that everyone's welcome to this, because you might think it's more like poetry or spoken word.
Okay, I never asked you if you have ever stepped up and read something of your own story.
Yeah, I did. I think I wrote a poem once, and then I read like a short story from a long time ago. But I don't really do it every month.
Mm-hmm. You're very reserved, but I have to say that I found out that during your university years or college years, you actually got a prize. 2011 was the time when you got a prize for the children's story. Orca Publishing is a famous company well-known company from Vancouver Island, and you got their prize.
Yeah, it was through Camosun. I think they just sponsored it, so I don't know if I was chosen by them. I could have been, but yeah, it was from a class that I took.
Yeah, but it's like you should say more, because you're putting a lot of time, a lot of energy to accommodate all of us or your community. So we should know more, and in order to show our appreciation, sometimes you need to just blow your own horn,
Yeah.
Do you have any specific time during the month which is reserved for writers open mic?
It's usually the first Thursday of the month. Yeah, sometimes it varies just depending, but it's usually the first Thursday.
Okay, so this month it was June 2nd, I think.
Yes.
June 2nd, and in July, which means in July it will be around 7th or 8th. July 7th or 8th.
I think it's the 5th.
5th. Okay.
It's on our website now, yeah.
Okay, so people who are interested in coming, they should show up. Do they need to know anything about this event prior to coming?
Well, you can sign up ahead of time if you like. We usually have enough spots for everyone. And there's not too much you have to know. It's pretty relaxed.
There is a lot of personal stories. People are using this moment because I said it's a public space, but it's something in your space brings that private energy, intimate energy. And last time a girl stepped up to share a story about the father she lost during the last year. So it was very, very intimate, very, very private moment, but it felt like we're all holding the space for her. Let's use this opportunity to talk about other events that you're hosting as well in your space.
Yeah, we have a weekly unplugged open mic Monday night, 6:30 to 8:30.
Mondays, you say Monday night.
Yeah, we call it unplugged just because we usually have a mic set up, but it's mostly like acoustic. We have a guitar you can use, and people just come up and sing and play an instrument if they want.
And anyone can come. Anyone can come.
Yeah, I think we usually have some high school students come, and then every age group above that. Yeah, my dad hosts it, and he's also pretty relaxed host. As long as people don't spend too much time up there.
Nice. Okay. So that's unplugged open mic. And what else?
We have music on Sunday afternoons from 2 to 4, and it's usually like local musicians, just people who reach out to us. Some of them will be people that have come to our open mic before, and then they reach out and ask if they could play a bit longer on Sunday. And it pretty much varies, like folk or rock. We had someone play the sitar once, like an Iranian instrument. We had someone play accordion.
So if people, if people want to come, they should contact you. So you're the one who is deciding who will be on the schedule.
For Sundays, you can email us, and then either myself or the assistant manager will get back in touch and let you know kind of the details, what's involved with it.
Okay, so are those free events, or there is some donation or admission for the
by donation to the artist?
By donation for the artist. Now, nice. So probably you have some regular customers who are coming specifically on Sundays, lunchtime. That's a lunchtime or after lunchtime to enjoy some music, live music.
Yeah, we have some regulars come by.
How can we find out about the schedule and who is going to perform, for example, this weekend?
Our website is giggiscafe.ca. Right now it's updated until mid-July. Yeah, we usually keep it at least a month or so updated. And we just announced a new event that'll be on July 15th, which will be on a Thursday night. It's a friend of the cafe. He's currently being treated for cancer, and he just needs some extra donations to get access to different treatments. So that's on our website. His name is Dave Gallant.
So
yeah,
one more way to serve your community.
Yeah, we try. We have the space here, so we like to open it up.
Yeah.
When possible.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know about that. I just wanted to mention there are a lot of artisans are actually having a space to show their work as well in your store. We don't see right now, but behind you there is a huge wall with a lot of paintings, jewelry, books, mugs.
Yeah, you can kind of see it over there.
Yeah, that's on the left side, and also on the right side there is a lot of stuff that people are bringing. So anyone who don't know what to buy, for example, for a birthday or for any event, they can drop in, and instead of grabbing coffee, they can find a very unique present for the loved ones. While I was reading your website, one post, one story grabbed my attention, and that was about new ways, or your suggestions about the new ways of communication we need after post-pandemic time. And I reacted to that post because it reminded me of something I have experienced in my country 20 and more years ago, when I actually my country went through a harsh isolation. And it's about that moment when people are craving and longing, and they desire to connect with like, we want those community gatherings, we want to matter, we want to see that we belong, because during the isolation we actually, a lot of friendships and a lot of groups broke up. So there is that longing, and we want to reach out, and we want to follow even our own like previous interests, but something on the other side is telling us that we cannot connect. Something is either missing, or we don't know how, or we are anxious about it. And I really I strongly reacted to that post, because I said, like, I could really imagine a lot of, especially young people nowadays, who are struggling to find that new way, or their way, because we all mature during the isolation. We mature a lot, and a lot of our interests and our priorities are changing, and we sometimes are not aware of the changing we have, like inner change we went through. So you have a lot of suggestions about that. So I want you to bring up that, because everything around you is about community. You have your cafe, but it's a place where people gather. People can come, hear the good story, hear the music, buy the present, help a friend, bring a friend. So you have a pretty inventive mind. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, I think I kind of wrote that post just kind of brainstorming and making a joke of it. So I don't know if I ever use them, but yeah, I think I've just thought that how we could use this space in different ways, like do speed dating or just like speed friendship or
what is a speed dating? What is a speed dating? I don't know what is a speed dating.
I think the concept is that you sit in, it's a bunch of singles, or you could just do it with friends, people looking for new friends or a partner, and you just sit down with someone, maybe like 7 minutes, and there might be a topic you talk about, or you just talk about anything, and then you move on to the next person. And then if you're interested in talking to that person again, you're able to exchange contact information.
That's a speed dating, okay. Yeah. But you mentioned very serious thing about speed dating. You didn't say, let's talk about the clubs. You said, let's talk about costs of living, which is very serious for youngsters. Usually that's the time when you should, hang around and, I don't want to say be irresponsible, but not think about the costs of living. Whereas you just mentioned that.
Yeah, I think it's a important thing to talk about nowadays. I think it was kind of said like tongue in cheek, like let's talk about whether anyone here has a Costco card and we can all shop together and save money.
Yeah, it's a harsh topic, but something youngsters are thinking about nowadays more than ever. Okay, what else? Speed dating? Is that a speed date nights? I'm sorry, speed date nights. What else?
I think I said just having like a arts and craft night, but with like no expectations. Yeah, I used to do that when I used to live in the Fraser Valley, and I'd host things like that in like a church basement, just as a way for people to express themselves and not put any pressure on themselves to actually create anything in particular.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
What about game nights?
Yeah, we've done a couple game nights.
Which one?
A couple months ago, we just had like some board game nights, and we had like a Nintendo Wii set up.
And how did it go?
It went pretty well. Yeah, some people came with their friends, and then afterwards I kind of realized we should have set something up for like anyone who wants to show up alone, just set up like a community table. So we might do that again. I guess it's kind of a nice thing to do in the fall when it's rainy.
Rather than, but our summer is crazy these days, so we have more rain than in fall. So maybe you can do sooner. But let's mention the anthology. I love that. That's also the way you are helping out the community, in this case again writers, but it's a thing which is a team for the team for June 2022. Can you share more details about the anthology you had in mind?
Yeah, it was an idea from our Writers Open Mic host to invite our customers to send in a story or a poem, and we collect it into an anthology. And it's also pretty low barrier. Oh.
Dad is leaving. He's done. He's done for the. It's very interesting. So because even my kids said, I want to participate. How can we apply for? There is people can submit, so they can go on the website and submit their poems or short stories. When is the deadline?
We said June 30th, but we were talking about extending it just because we haven't been pushing it too much.
So after that, who will be the one checking the stories and decided which one to publish?
It'll be myself, Tony, and then another woman who's part of like the Writers Guild in Victoria.
And any plans with that book? Probably people will be able to buy in your store again?
Yeah.
Or somewhere else? Do you have any
I
plans?
think Tony had the idea to see if any local bookstores would carry it as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So you will do everything, like collecting stories and then doing the book cover, editing. So it's a lot of work, Gina. It's a lot of work to publish a book.
Well, Tony's done it before, so I kind of just follow her lead. Yeah, we haven't given ourselves any big deadlines yet, so it's pretty.
Okay, so people still have time when they hear this, if they want, maybe they can come, for example, and check out, you know, the water by, for example, reading the story in front of other people. And if they react, maybe that's a good sign to actually go further and then submit the story for the anthology. It's a good way to check out, because, you know, sometimes writers, they struggle with that. Like, is this good enough? Are people interested in this? Can I do anything better? We all need feedback. Yeah. Are you planning to submit some things of your own?
I'm not sure. Maybe if we come up with kind of a theme, I could write on that. But I'd rather just leave it for other people, and then I can just fill in if there's any space to fill in.
There is also an opportunity for people to rent your space if they want to host any private event. So maybe you can share something, or you can say something about that.
Yeah, we have listed on our website. I think we just increased our nightly fee, but you can rent the space for at least 2 hours. We try to keep it a pretty reasonable rate, and it can either be a private event for you and your friends. We have a liquor license, or we're open to doing like other evening events. We've had someone approach us recently about having like a singer-songwriter kind of circle, so that might be like an upcoming event. And we're pretty much just open to what people would like to see in the space.
For the end, maybe we can actually say, where is Gigi's Cafe? In Victoria? What are the working hours? And especially, what are the upcoming events that people should be aware of?
Yeah, we're open until 4:30, Monday to Saturday, and 4 on Sundays. The opening hours kind of vary for the day. We're at Hillside and Quadra, right at the corner. There's not a lot of street parking, but
yeah, there is not a street parking, but close by there is a big fairway. So people...
I can't officially recommend that because that's their property, but
yes,
but there is street parking along Quadra.
yeah, okay, so every day you're actually working every day from 8:30, you said, until 4:30.
Yeah, I think 9 o'clock on Monday, Friday, and Saturday, 8:30 Tuesday to Thursday, 10 o'clock on Sunday.
So Junction, Quadra, and Hillside.
Yeah.
So you are on one of the corner. And what is the upcoming event people should actually put on their schedule and come and, you know, check out in your store?
Yeah, we have this Sunday, there's a young singer-songwriter, Dilly Cooner. She's playing at 2 p.m. And next week, there's our Writers Open Mic on Monday. And then the next Sunday, which is the 19th, there's a man named John Michael Lind, which is like he's a folk artist. He'll be playing at 2 o'clock on that Sunday.
Thank you for taking time.
Yeah, thank you so much
to
sharing about the business.
Yeah, I'm really glad I met you. Really appreciate the opportunity I got, you know, participating in that event. Thank you for hosting those events. They mean a lot to self-published or unpublished writers in Victoria. Thank you for doing your part of the job.
No problem.
Hope to see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Bye, Gina.